Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to Football Worldwide and to another edition of European Weekly Catch Up. What a huge 7 days we've had of football, and here with me, as always, is my beautiful co-host, Bruno. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm fantastic. I'd love to sit and have a nice catch up, have a nice chat, but we have so much for you today. So, without
Yep.
further ado, what are we covering? Well, we will cover match day 6 of the English Premier League, and what a match day it was. So much news coming out of that. Serie A, we will be covering match day 5 and match day 6 because they did have a midweek fixture. La Liga, match day 6. Match day 7. I've got my companion here. She's running around. It is currently raining outside, so she may pop in and out of this video. But yeah, La Liga, match day 6 and match day 7 review. The Bundesliga will be covering their match day 5. Ligue, match day 7 and 8 review. Again, another midweek fixture there. Around the grounds, ones to watch, and Jonathan will be repeating the antics of our Team of the Week episode last week and just recapping what's happening with this competition. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it, Jonathan.
100%, mate.
Normally, we have a nice little banner that comes up and says English Premier League, but
And that we do. There we go. I got that. I got it up there now, mate.
Look, I know, it's what I was expecting, but look, it's understandable with how much content we have today. But match day 6 of the English Premier League, there were some fantastic fixtures. Chelsea and Manchester City kicked off match day 6 in what was a blockbuster 1-0 victory to Manchester City. We'll go more in depth into that. A fixture I'd love to cover, but we are not covering. Mo covered on everything APL. Is Manchester United, Aston Villa 1, and Manchester United 0. Well, what happened there? Ronaldo, Fernandes, who takes the penalty? Fernandes, he buckled. Game over. We move on to Leicester City Burnley in what was a 2-2 draw. But Jamie Vardy getting a hat-trick, scoring that own goal there. Everton defeated Norwich 2-0. Leeds United could not hold on to get a point against West Ham, losing 2-1. Watford Newcastle shed the spoils in a 1-1 draw. Surprise package Brentford took Liverpool to the sword and drew 3-3 with them. Southampton, well, they struggled against a struggling Wolves who defeated Southampton 1-0. Arsenal 3-1 against Cross City rivals Tottenham. And the round was wrapped up with a 1-1 draw between Crystal Palace and Brighton. And let me tell you, Crystal Palace, Brighton, that result there puts Brighton on 13 points. Liverpool outright leaders on 14 points. Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Everton, and Brighton all on 13. 1 point, the splits top 6. It's phenomenal. These games are coming thick and fast. And what better way to start it off, Jonathan, than with the first match of the weekend, Manchester City, Chelsea.
Mate, this was probably the most highly anticipated match out of all the leagues in the past week, to be honest. And you know what? It was, to me, a little bit of a letdown. I'm going to be perfectly honest, purely for the reason of I expected more from Chelsea, completely changing their tactics from what they usually had and all that, and not taking it to Manchester City like they had normally did. But in saying that, Pep's game plan, mate, I could not fault it whatsoever. Maybe I'm being a little bit biased from a Chelsea perspective. Not that I'm a Chelsea supporter, but I just expected a bit more from them. Bruno, you're a Manchester City fan. What did you think of this one?
Look, you're not in the wrong to expect more from Chelsea, and Manchester City did inflict Chelsea's first defeat of the season, but Chelsea lost this game in their own defense. They gave Manchester City way too much respect. Manchester City had the majority of the ball most of the game, and it wasn't until Jesus' deflected goal that Chelsea actually started pushing out of their half. But time and time again we say this, and we've heard it being said. Lukaku, he went missing. It was a big game. He went missing. He was probably the flop of the team in regards to he did not do anything. I don't think he contributed much at all. The Manchester City defense were absolutely solid. Diaz and Laporte were phenomenal, but Grealish is finding his feet in this Man City squad. And I said last week this game could determine who's favourite in the competition. And I'm telling you that Manchester City performance, when especially knowing they're playing PSG in the Champions League, they went out and they took the game to Chelsea and they treated it like this Manchester City looked like the Manchester City that would face a Leeds or a Norwich team. They just did not expect Chelsea to do anything. And my question is, where was this in the Champions League final? That's all I have to say.
And you know what? That's the $1 million question right there, or $1 billion if you want to talk about Manchester City. But you know what? Like it's so true, Bruno. Like you really did just hit it right there. Where was this in the Champions League game last year? And Pep, to his credit, had this team firing all cylinders. Silva, Cancelo, De Bruyne, all played phenomenally. Like you said, that back line was so good, gave no room to Lukaku and Werner. But yeah, credit to Man City. So no, they go top of the. No, sorry, they've gone
Second.
performing. Yeah, so they're right up there again, and it's going to be telling it come the end of the season when they play again. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you just before we move on to the next fixture, you got to remember this is Manchester City side which drew 0 with Southampton last week, and they were kept to one shot on target. Well, guess what? They kept Chelsea to no shots on target. That's how cynical it was, and the mind games are over. Pep's now got his win over Tuchel. I think it's on and up for this Man City team, and we'll see in the Champions League. But let's move on to what was, I think, a shock to a lot of people. Liverpool were going into this game where a win would send them 2 points clear of the 3 points clear. Sorry, of the ladder.
You're right. Yep. 3 points.
And
yep.
They went into this expected to win. They're playing Brentford, and 3-3, mate. Is this a fairy tale story for Brentford this season? Everyone wrote them off at the start, but are they the team that not that they're going to do big things? I'm not by all rights of the word. I'm not saying they're going to qualify for Europe, but at the same time, I feel that this team has the momentum to be quite safe when it comes to relegation.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the season, not knowing too much about Brentford, they've performed well. They've actually really performed well, and they've got a good standing at home. Klopp played them a lot of credit at the end of the game, and they said, you know what, like they deserve to draw. They deserve the result out of this, and credit to Brentford. They really did. They really took the game to Liverpool, and as a neutral, this was just an exciting game to watch. You know, like who doesn't love a 6-goal thriller? 3-3, like come on, that's just entertainment right there. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed this game, and yeah, no, it was definitely one of those ones that was probably one of my more favorite ones over the weekend.
Yeah, look, and I think you covered it well. A lot of people didn't know who Brentford were, and I think this goes for Liverpool as well. They haven't studied. They're not the whipping boys of the league, and that 2-0 win to Arsenal at the start of the season wasn't a fluke, and they've shown it. They've taken the game to Liverpool. But I feel I'm going to be a bit critical of Liverpool here. They took the lead 3 times in that fixture.
And they weren't able to hold
the
on.
lead 3 times. You're conceding 3 goals to a lowly Brentford, a team which is far less superior than yourself. That's where I would start to get a bit critical in the sense of, has Klopp really got this winning formula, or is this just the start that they had? The fixture list is in their favour at the time being. That's how I look. They're playing Manchester City come this weekend. We saw what Man City did to Chelsea. I think this game could be again, season defining for Liverpool, but as well as City.
Yeah, and also take into consideration we have Champions League on this week as well, so they may have had one eye looking at the midweek fixture before having to go into the City game on the weekend. But at the end of the day, you can only play what's in front of you, and you have to take it for what it is. They dropped
Yeah.
points against Brentford, and you would not have expected a Liverpool team with the attacking power and the quality they have in that side, even if it is their second string team, to have any trouble against Brentford. But credit to them where it's due. Well done, Brentford.
100%. And the last game of the round that we are covering is Arsenal, who got the bragging rights over their cross-city rivals in Tottenham, defeating them 3-1. Jonathan, take us back a month.
A month ago, we were talking about, is Nuno the right manager? Look how good he's going for Tottenham, and is how long does Arteta have left? And wow, what 3 weeks, 3 match days can do in a league. Both of them now on equal points, equal for and against. That's unreal. That is just unreal. What 3 weeks can do. Credit to Arsenal. They played well. They played quite well. I was really happy to see how Saka had got that goal. He had obviously we know what happened to him in the Euros, and his confidence was probably a bit shot because of that. But he's bounced back in form. He's a good young player, and I'm really glad to see that he's come on leaps and bounds. But mate, Tottenham, what's going on? That's three losses in a row now, Bruno.
Yeah, and I called it very early on, not to brag or anything, but I did say that this
You did.
Tottenham team have essentially, they have not impressed. They may have been, had the perfect start, 3 wins, 3-1-0 wins, but they were far from convincing, and everyone gave them too much credit for that Man City victory. And I said it was a hangover from the previous season for City, but I just think Nuno's been found out. Essentially, you're looking at a manager who wasn't first in line, who wasn't their first choice, second choice, third choice, fourth choice, or fifth choice manager. He was their last ditch effort. And what's he really done for Wolves? He hasn't really done much, to say the least. So I just think you're looking. I think Arteta's saved his job yet again for another, I'd say, 4 or 5 match days. To be honest, I think he's given that. All right, well, you can't come to me now. I won the derby. Simple as that. That's as far as it goes with him. But let's leave the Premier League where it is, because we've got some more. So a lot more fixtures to cover, Jonathan.
And the next one that we're moving to is one of our favorite leagues, as always, the Italian Serie A. Now we've got 2 match days to cover here, Bruno. So we're going to move to the first one that happened during the midweek, which was match day 5. Bologna and Genoa played a 2-2 draw. Inter, with a comeback win against Fiorentina, got up 3-1. Atalanta got the points over Sassuolo 2-1. Juventus with their first win of the campaign over Spezia 3-2. Salernitana and Verona, that was an entertaining game. That one was a 2-2 draw. Milan still keeping at top of the ladder with a 2-0 win over Venezia. Empoli got a 2-0 win over Cagliari. Napoli, geez, aren't they flying at the moment, Bruno, with a 4-0 win over Sampdoria. Torino and Lazio played a 1-1 draw, and Roma got the points over Udinese 1-0. Bruno, this was an interesting match day. Definitely. There was definitely some results that were probably expected to go through. But our first one I wanted to take us to was Juventus finally getting their first 3 points in Italy. What did you think of this one?
Far from convincing.
Yeah.
They may have had the possession, they may have had the shots, but they took an early lead, and Spezia essentially just hit back straight away. And again, Spezia then took the lead. And look, Chiesa gets them out of trouble, and it was a beautiful De Ligt goal that got them across. But they were not convincing.
No.
To say the least. They were not convincing, to say the least. And Look, they ended up going on to the next match day, and they got the 3 points again, which was essentially a lot more convincing. We're not going to cover them on match day 6, so I'll mention it there. They did get the points again against Sampdoria in what was, I think, a 3-2 victory.
Yeah,
But
again.
again, not convincing. 3-2, 2 times in a row. They're leaking goals. But overall, Jonathan, that goal, Chiesa.
Mate, that watching that at the time, I thought he's got nowhere to move. This goal started literally at the corner post. He had two defenders on him. Somehow skips between both, gets inside the box from the left hand side. Break up play somehow. The ball's fumbled everywhere. He somehow finds the ball, and as he's falling over or diving for it, he puts it in the bottom corner, and you're thinking, where did that come from, and how did that ball make it through to the back of the net? But credit to him, and he is an absolute gem. They are so lucky to have him at the moment. Imagine if he was still at Fiorentina at the moment with how they're flying at the moment. But it is what it
Him and
is.
Vlahovic up front would have been deadly,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
you know what? There is so many stories you could write or potentially write, and I just think that's when it comes to football, that's how it is.
it
It's
is.
all a story unless it does eventually happen. But we did mention that Juventus beat Sampdoria 3-2 in the match day 6 results, and our next fixture we're covering is Napoli, who defeated Sampdoria 4-0. And personally, I feel that 4-0 win there was something that really rattled Sampdoria, and we've seen how strong they've been this season. The wheels have fallen off there, but I don't know if we can blame Sampdoria for this loss. I feel this Napoli momentum train. I know Zil Amo will be watching this, cheering this on, but this Napoli momentum train, I don't want to sound too optimistic for them, because we know Spalletti very well as a manager, and he starts his seasons on fire, but they collapse generally. But this team just does not look like it's going down that path. They look like a well structured and solidified team, Jono.
Yeah, and just to mention, Osimhen. Wow, hasn't he come leaps and bounds? Last season, he had an injury-riddled season, but he's really come up. And the pace he's got to be able to be flying like he was, and he would just tore that Sampdoria defense to shreds. So yeah, no, it's he's definitely a joy to watch. And mate, he scored 2 goals that game, and it just seemed like he was toying with him. He had so much time and space. So yeah, credit to him.
Look, I'm sure it's not the last time we'll be talking about Napoli and Osimhen. So let's move on to match day 6, Jonathan. I'll pull up the fixtures now. Here are the results. Run through them for us.
Yep. So the start of the match day 6 was Milan got a 2-1 victory over Spezia. Next was such an entertaining game, a 2-2 draw, Inter and Atalanta. Mate, that was some fireworks in that one. Genoa and Verona played out a 3-3 draw. Juventus, again, got their second win of the season, back-to-back 3-2 win over Sampdoria, as we had just mentioned. Fiorentina, back to winning ways, 1-0 win over Udinese, and they're performing great this season. Sassuolo, 1-0 win over Salernitana. Empoli with another win, 4-2 over Bologna. Lazio, Bruno, pronounce it correctly for me. The Delia d'Italia, is that how we say it, mate?
The Derby della Capitale, the capital, the Derby of the capital.
Thank you, mate, for fixing up my pronunciation there. So Lazio got 3-2 over Roma. Napoli, again, keeping to their winning ways, 2-0 over Cagliari. And Venezia and Torino playing a 1-1 draw. Bruno, first one I wanted to take it to. Inter and Atalanta, our team. Mate, this game had everything. This was legitimately one of the most entertaining games, but not entertaining for us because but this game had everything. Honestly, either team could have won this, and we know that Anthony would have covered this well in Serie A Roundtable. on yesterday's episode. So guys, be sure to go check that for a more in-depth analysis. But mate, run it through us. What happened here?
The game started, and I had barely sat on the lounge to start watching, and Martinez banged in this amazing goal. But Inter slowly started to fade out of the fixture, and in the space of 4 or 5 minutes, Atalanta had 2 quick fire goals. It was 1-2 done, and it was something special. Honestly, it was something special because no one predicted that. No one could really predict who were going to win this game. Yeah, Inter were slight favourites, being the champion and all, but at the same time, I even called it earlier. They've both got Champions League, and Inter's traveling to the Ukraine, so they had that in the back of their mind. Dzeko gets the goal in the 71st minute, and the scores are 2-2. You think, okay, that's the score. It's the end of the game. No, it's not. Inter are awarded a penalty. Don't know why. I can't wrap my head around. I can't fathom.
They called it a handball.
No. But I can't fathom as to why. Inzaghi announces Dimarco, a player who's just come onto the pitch, and I'm quite critical of players who have just come onto the field taking penalties. I am sorry, it doesn't work like that. You don't do that. You're not warm. You're not. And he came on for Bastoni, and clearly he didn't come on because Bastoni got injured. He came on because Bastoni is playing Shakhtar this week, so it's going to be brutal. Misses the penalty, then Atalanta score. Somehow, Dzeko realizes the ball went out before the goal. VAR go back and check. The ball went out before the goal. Goal disallowed. End of game. 2-2. But my God, it was something special. And it just shows the pedigree of not just Inter, but Atalanta. We've been highly critical of Atalanta across Inter worldwide, as well as the Serie A roundtable. The criticism's there, and it's been true. Yeah, Gasparini, he's running out of tricks. He's been doing the same thing for the last couple of years. But he just brought it back into it. And I just feel, Malinovsky had the game of his life. Man of the match performance. But if there was no Champions League, if there was no fixture congestion, does the same result occur? I don't think so. I think one team gets the 3 points.
Yeah, I think so as well. But obviously, both the teams are thinking about both teams have got Champions League again this week, and probably it's got to be a recurring issue from what we're going to be saying for the rest of this episode. But you need to take into consideration that 3 games in 7 days for a lot of these teams. That's a lot of football, and a lot of them do have big squads and all of that. But that's a lot of football to be playing and putting your main 11 under. So yeah.
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to have a quick word about this next fixture, the Derby della Capitale. It is the Roman derby, and it is probably one of the derbies in your lifetime. If you ever want to experience live, this is one to watch because it is ruthless. It is brutal. People have been killed over this derby. Seriously, the passion is there, but Lazio, they ran away with the fixture 3-2. They won the derby 3-2. Sarri gets the win over Mourinho. But my point in this is Lazio's front three in Anderson, Rodriguez, and Immobile. Well, there were assists. There were goals galore coming out of that. And you really got to give credit where credit's due. In regards to Felipe Anderson has returned to the Serie A, and to do this in a derby, it's phenomenal. This derby means so much to the people of the fans of Lazio, the fans of Roma, and it's just special, Jonathan.
Yeah, it really is. Even to have the second goal scored by Pedro for Lazio, from going from Rome to Lazio in the off season, it's just It's special. It's special. Felipe Anderson, like you said, coming back to the Serie A from I think it was Everton.
West Ham.
In the was it West Ham? Sorry, in the off season, and he's picked up where he left off. Like he didn't have a great Premier League career, but back in the Serie A, it looks like he's performing back where he needs to, and where he's loved. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. I think it's not the last we're going to speak about in regards to Lazio this season, especially with the way Sarri got his men together. But yeah, I think we leave that there and we move on to the next league.
yep, which is one of my favorite, the Spanish La Liga. Mate, again, another two match day fixtures that we need to cover here. So moving on to match day 7 and starting from the top. Atletico Madrid got a 2-1 win over Getafe. Raul Vallecano got a 2-1 win over Athletic Club. Celta Vigo got a 2-0 win over Levante. Espanyol got 1-0 winners over Alvarez. Sevilla 3-1 over Valencia. Villarreal with a 4-1 win over Elche. Real Madrid, didn't they turn the firepower on? 6-1 over Mallorca. Real Sociedad back to where they need to be, putting them near the top of the table again. 3-2 over Granada. Real Betis with a 3-1 win over Osasuna, and Barcelona and Cadiz playing a 0-0 draw. Bruno, one of the first fixtures I want to take us to, mate. Atletico Madrid 2-1 over Getafe, mate. Getafe took the lead early with a scrappy goal just before half time, but mate, you can't put the champions down. They came back firing, didn't they? You're on mute there, buddy.
They may have come back firing, but I do think there's a lot more to take out of this fixture in criticism for Atletico. They have not looked good. They started the season off really convincingly, but they honestly have not impressed since. And VAR intervenes. You have Getafe have a player red carded, only for then Suarez to score a brace. Something's not working well. We've been talking about how well Correa started the season off, and then Suarez comes in, and you see the goals drying up for Correa. Rodrigo De Paul, would he rather still be in the Serie A? I feel there may be issues there because I don't think he's getting what he was promised Atletico there, but I don't know. What's your thoughts? Is it just a rough patch for Atletico at the moment, or are they in serious trouble?
I wouldn't say they're in serious trouble yet, purely for the caliber of players that they do have in their team. Remember also that uh, I've lost his name at the moment, who just come back from Barcelona back to Atletico. Griezmann, sorry, yes. So you've now got 3 or 4 prolific strikers in that front third with only 2 to 3 positions where they need a fit. So what Simeone has done, he's actually changed the format a little bit to Keita, and he's been playing a 4-2-4 type of formation. And it's not working. It's actually, to me, it's looking very clunky. The linking passes and the triangle passing is just not there like they used to be. Those runs and passes aren't finding between the gaps where they were like at the beginning of the season, where, as we said, De Paul was able to just string those passes in, and you had that Argentinian combination between him and Correa at the front. It's just not working at the moment. Look, I wouldn't say they're in too much trouble yet because they are still not performing well, but managing to get points and get wins on the board. So, win ugly if you need to. So,
yeah, look, they went on to drop points in the following match day, so I'm sure you'll cover that when we go through. But I think that's where we leave Atletico Madrid. We'll go to the top of the table, Real Madrid. They defeated Mallorca 6-1, but Asensio, my gosh, what a game he had.
What a game. What a gentleman. Been on the sideline for a little while. They Ancelotti mixed up the team a bit. Asensio, geez, he put his hand up to be able to come back into the team, scoring a hat trick against his old club, paying respect, not celebrating any of those goals. Between him and Karim Benzema, another brace, mate. This guy's got as we've had mentioned in the conversation starter with Tim. One of the most underrated players of all time in Karim Benzema. In all seriousness, he's just done it year after year, and to be prolific as what he is and still doing what he is, credit to him.
Look, I think he's an instrument to his own demise. I think we would have known a lot more about Karim. He would have been a lot more in the spotlight if the issues with the national team never occurred. He's finally made his way back into that national team, but yeah, sensitive topic there. Real Madrid getting the job done as per usual. I think we move on to the next match day, Jonathan.
Yep. So next match day in the La Liga was match day 7, mate. These are coming thick and fast now, aren't they? So Alvarez got a 1-0 win over Atletico Madrid, which is what Bruno just mentioned. They couldn't scrap it away this time. Valencia played a 1-1 draw with Athletic Club. Sevilla with a 2-0 win over Espanyol. Real Madrid dropping points against Villarreal, playing a 0-0 draw. Osasuna getting the points over Mallorca 3-2. Barcelona with one of their first wins for a few weeks, 3-0 over Levante. Real Vallecano 3-1 over Cadiz. Real Sociedad 1-0 over Elche. Real Betis 2-0 over Getafe, and Celta Vigo 1-0 over Granada. Mate, a lot of draws in there as well. A lot of 1-0s and all that too. But, mate, there was definitely some goals.
Yeah, no, definitely some goals. And you mentioned Barcelona. We'll go straight into that. 3-0. I think you're starting to see this team slowly gel. They've been quite disjointed. They've lacked a lot in the last couple of weeks. Braithwaite hasn't been on the pitch, so Depay's been playing out of position. To this fixture here, he played in position, and it was a man of the match performance, in my opinion. He played absolutely phenomenal and was an extremely strong essence and had a extremely strong presence in this 3-0 victory. But are they as formidable as they used to be? No, but can they get there? Yeah, they can. Yeah, they definitely can.
They've still got a lot of two things I take from this performance. One, Koeman wasn't on the sideline because he'd received a red card the previous game, and look how well Barcelona played. I don't know. Do you take anything into it? They all say that he's a dead man walking at the moment, and it actually looks like that, to be perfectly honest, because that was probably their best game I've seen them play this season. The other thing I wanted to make a mention, Luc de Jong scoring his first goal for Barcelona. But, mate, I'll let you take the next point I wanted to mention.
Fati. Oh, Fati.
Breath of fresh air.
He's absolutely humble as a player, and I honestly see him going very far in the game, but the way the team embraced him following his goal was absolutely, it was beautiful to watch.
It really was, yeah.
It was honestly beautiful to watch. This wasn't a fixture I caught live, but after I saw the result, it was definitely a fixture I had to watch. But I think Depay has shown strong presence in the team, but Fati, the way the team reacted, you can tell this team is starting to really gel. And I think that's where we leave Barcelona, because
just one more on Fati I wanted to mention, mate, before we do drop it. Fati taking the number 10 back off Messi, so he's got the famous number 10 now. Playing his first game back, coming back from injury this season, coming on in the 81st minute to score that goal. It was beautiful, like you've just said, not to repeat what you've already mentioned, but it really just was a beautiful moment. 18 years of age this kid is, so he's got a long future ahead of him, and it's just nice to see hopefully he stays injury free and can keep performing
Yeah.
for Barcelona because they definitely need him.
Oh, look, I was literally just about to say, injuries, when they do come, they come
Yeah,
thick and fast, and some players' careers. Look at Roma Zaniolo, very bright prospect, injury after injury. Once you've weakened something, it tends to keep breaking. But let's leave that there. Real Madrid, Villarreal. Uh, it was always going to be a fantastic contest. It was always going to be a fantastic contest, and it did not disappoint. It was a scoreless draw, but I don't think either team deserved 3 points because they both played so well.
yeah. And in saying that, you got to give credit to Villarreal. They stepped up by all means. Courtois for me was man of the match. The amount of saves that he actually made and the shots that Villarreal had put on target, I was like, how Courtois was literally everywhere.
He's
He
been
was
saving Real Madrid a lot lately.
he has, and he just shows why he is one of the probably the best goalkeepers in the world and why they paid big money to have him at the time. So credit to him.
Yeah, look, 100%, but I don't think I think credit to both teams. Neither is a walk in the park, and they got the job done and they did it. In it was an entertaining draw. It was a draw I wouldn't mind watching because it was quite backwards and forwards. But even possession was very even. I think it was 51-49 to Villarreal. So it was one of those games where you didn't expect you didn't know what to expect, and definitely what happened. But let's leave Spain in Spain and let's move
And
across to Italy.
move to Germany for the Bundesliga.
Yes, we have reached the Bundesliga match day 6. They are one of the only leagues that actually did not play in the off week. England had the Carabao Cup. Italy, Spain, and France all had an extra fixture, but Germany did not. They're nice and fresh, and will that favour them when it comes to the Champions League this week? I don't know. We'll see. We'll discuss that in the Champions League show, Jonathan. But let's move into it. Bayern Munich, well, it was a textbook win. Business as usual, 3-1 over Gutherthurft. Wolfsburg suffered a shock defeat to Hoffenheim, losing 3-1. Union Berlin defeated Arminia 1-0. Leverkusen had the win over Mainz, defeating them 1-0. The game of the week went to RB Leipzig, who put 6 past Hertha Berlin. And they put 6 past them, winning 6-0. Frankfurt and Holland shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw. Shock of the round goes to Mönchengladbach, who defeated Borussia Dortmund 1-0. Bochum, Stuttgart, well, nothing could split them there. Goalless draw. Freiburg, what a performance and what a game it was in their 3-0 win over Augsburg. But Jonathan, the German league did not fail to disappoint this week. Where are we starting it from?
Mate, we've got to go with the first one of the round. Bayern Munich 3-1 over Gothenburg. Yeah. Mate, Alphonso Davies, did you see that first setup down the byline all the way? He's got pace to burn. And, mate, just cross the ball into the box. Straight ball across the bottom, straight to Muller, Thomas Muller. Slots it in for the opening goal. Unreal. Mate, this team is so clinical. They're machine-like. Bayern scoring in 37 consecutive Bundesliga matches now.
It's more than a season.
Yeah, it is. It is. No, yeah, because you're right. They only play 36 games. So they've scored more than, never had more than a year, 0-0.
Look, I think credit where credit's due, but we did see one record stop. Lewandowski failing to score. It had to happen.
Would have been 17. It would have been number 17, but that last one, it ended up being an own goal. He didn't get the final touch, but it is what it is, and credit where it's due.
It is. But Bayern Munich, they were clinical, and this was one of the games where they did take their foot off the pedal a bit towards the back end of the fixture. And again, Champions League, it is in the forefront of all the teams' mind going into this week. They don't want to risk injury. So I think we leave that one there. Jonathan, where are we moving to next in Germany?
RB Leipzig, the 6-0 over Hertha Berlin, mate. I love goals, but it was almost to that point where RB Leipzig everything clicked. In all seriousness, everything clicked for them, and they could have easily scored 10 goals this match. They had a couple where they hit the post and hit the crossbar and so forth. They were shooting from everywhere by all means, and credit to them. It finally clicked after the dismay that they have had in the off season of losing so many quality players as well as their manager. Yeah, it finally clicked for them.
Yeah, look, I think all credit where credit's due. They performed extremely well. Nkuku, he was phenomenal. He controlled that game from start to finish in regards to RB Leipzig. But Hertha, look, they were never expected to get the points. They did suffer a 5-0 defeat to Bayern Munich a couple of weeks ago. And you just knew that this was probably one of the teams that could have steamrolled over. They were going to get steamrolled by, and it just went according to script, unfortunately, for Hertha Berlin, but fortunately for the fans.
Definitely. So leaving that one there and moving to the final match I wanted to cover for the match day in Germany. Mönchengladbach 1-0 over Borussia Dortmund. Now, Bruno, when you were talking the results, you said that this one was a bit of a surprise, but not when you probably consider who was actually missing for them. Marco Reus and Haaland were both injured for this game. So up front, Borussia Dortmund had a 16-year-old Mokuku, his name was, starting for them, getting his first start of the season. But you know what? He's actually not that bad. Jeez, he's quick and he's got some zip to him and he can put the ball on target, that's for sure. So credit to him. Mönchengladbach doing what they needed to and getting the 3 points.
Yeah, no, definitely. With Royce and Haaland missing from the outset, it does not look like an easy win for Dortmund, especially with them two being the spine of this club. Haaland is always reliable for a goal, and he's out, I think, for the rest of the month, to be honest. So I can't see him coming back before mid October, they were saying. So, look, terrible defense, terrible discipline. As soon as they get the second yellow, the red card, you just know there's no coming back for them. But I feel good work for keeping Gladbach to one goal, especially being down so early in the first half. Well, not early, but being down for almost over a full half of football and missing your two players that make you you. They did well to keep it to 1-0.
They did. That's definitely for sure. So, yeah, no, you're 100% right. They did well to only keep it at the 1. So, leaving that there and moving to our final league of the segment is the French Ligue 1. Bruno, we've got 2 match day to cover up here. So, take us up for match day 7.
Yeah, look, as disappointing as I'd like to start match day 7, our friends Clermont Foot, they suffered a 6-0 defeat to Rennes. Nantes, well, they were too strong for Brest, winning 3-1. Montpellier and Bordeaux shared the point in a 6-goal thriller, 3-all there. Monaco, well, they're getting their game up and running with a 3-1 defeat to Saint Etienne, 3-1 win to Saint Etienne. Lille, well, they're getting some points on the board now. 2-1 win to Reims. Metz, well, they were not good enough to defeat the almighty PSG this season. Lorient, well, they defeated Nice 1-0. Lyon, well, everything went according to script on that front. They defeated Troyes 3-1. Lens failed to score and, as a result, lost 1-0 to Strasbourg. Agnes and Marseille, Nilo. Jonathan, what a week and a midweek fixture. And just to give everyone context, match day 7 was played all in the space of less than 12 hours. They played an entire match day in a day. And I said to you during the week, Jonathan, I said, this is how all midweek match days should be played. every team should play on the same day, because you look at the Serie A, they had games Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then they're starting again Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There is no break. Whereas when you do it like this, it sort of levels the playing field.
Yeah, it does, and it's getting to a point where, again, probably to sound like a broken record, but you need to start considering players' welfare and all of that. Look at some of the games that a lot of the players have played. A lot of have played Euros or Copa America and all that, as well as the now take into consideration international break and World Cup qualifiers and all that too. So yeah, it's a lot of football playing at the moment. When we had discussed this during last week to see, I had never seen this before, to be perfectly honest, but it was such a brilliant thing to see, and to see a whole match day played from in one day. Absolutely brilliant.
The
So
only
credit to
time you
Ligue
see
1.
that is match day 38 in, the Premier League,
Yeah.
where they play everything at the exact same time. And
Yes, correct.
which is fair enough, but for them to
Yes.
orchestrate this, it's actually phenomenal. Let's get into it. Lille defeated Reims 2-1. I think the main reason we're talking about this is Lille finally getting a couple of wins on the board this season. They've been the disappointment in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, and my second favorite Canadian player, Jonathan Davis, boy, surprise, surprise, opening the scoring for Lille late in the second half. Yeah, no, they looked good. They actually looked good. Rems only defeated the season before this game was against PSG. PSG still on a perfect record, 8 from 8, which we will get to shortly. But yeah, Rems were very lucky to even get a goal from a bit of help from the VAR.
Yeah, look, I think that we leave there and move to the next fixture. Lyon 3. They defeated Troyes 1. Mate, this team, Lyon, they're looking the goods.
They're finally starting to perform, and with the loss of what they had in the off season, and the addition of Shaqirian and Emerson in the latest transfer market, both of them getting on the score sheet and scoring their first goals for Lyon, and Paquetá, mate, what a brilliant goal he did to finish off the scoring for Lyon. They played well. They're starting to actually gel that team, so they're actually a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, look, Lyon, I think in France were second best team in the transfer market, but they did really well. I don't think anyone can reach the heights that PSG did this transfer window, but Lyon did do really well, and it's starting to show. Their fruits are starting to they're starting to ripen, and we're looking good in that front. But let's move on to the second match day, which is match day 8. And we'll get straight into it. Nice returned back to their winning ways, winning 3-0 over Saint Etienne. Strasbourg, well, they handed Lille 2 wins in just as many days, defeat in a 2-1 win. Lille won there. Lyon, well, we just spoke about them, how they're doing. They drew 1-1 with Lorient. PSG, well, Jonathan alluded to it earlier. They're 8 from 8. They defeated 2-0 over Montpellier. Bordeaux, Rennes, they shared the spoils there in a draw 1-1. Reims, well, they were too good for Nantes, defeating them 3-1. Brest struggled against Metz in their 2-1 defeat there. Troyes and Agnes, well, they shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw. Clermont-Ferrand, well, it's not going too well for them. They handed Monaco 3 points with a 3-0 win to Monaco in that front. Well, Jonathan, it may be the commentators' curse. You said how good Marseille were doing. In the space of these 2 match days, they've gotten 1 point in their 3-2 loss to Lens at home. So, Jonathan, please don't talk about Inter.
Well, the only one we can keep saying how good they're going and they're still performing without the commentators' curse is PSG, because they've had the most perfect start to a season. 8 from 8, complete perfect, and credit to them. Navas having a complete blinder in goal, by all means necessary. The defense is starting to look a little bit stronger. They still need a bit more stiffening up for certain aspects of the game, but they weren't too troubled. When they get Sergio Ramos back, you can tell that they're going to be performing on all cylinders.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't know how much more we can say about this PSG squad. You can praise them week in, week out. It sort of sounds like a broken record. But let's move on to the next game. Monaco, they defeated Clermont-Foot 3-1. But they're starting to get this momentum going, and I've mentioned it many times before. Momentum is a wonderful thing in this sport. You can rack up a couple of wins in a row, and all of a sudden you're looking into title contention or Champions League contention. You're out of the relegation zone. Whereas you get that one loss, you can start downward spiraling out of title contention, out of Champions League, into the relegation. And especially this early in the season, you need to try and get that buffer between the bottom teams, Jonathan. And I don't know, is Monaco that team that is going to, surprise in the sense of they're going to get that Champions League position comfortably?
Comfortably, no. Not in Ligue 1, by all means, no. Because in saying that, this is one of, other than PSG being mostly, outright favourites every year instead of last year, the rest, you like we said, we've got Monaco, you've got Lyon, you've got Lille, you've got Reims, you've got Marseille as well. So many of these other teams on their day, anyone can defeat anyone. I want to throw up our favourites for this season, Clermont-Foot. They had a great beginning start to the season, and that loss on the weekend as well was their first loss at home for the season. So being a newly promoted team, they've definitely shown that they deserve to be in the top league as well. And so credit to them. But yeah, no, not comfortably for Monaco to make the Champions League spots, but they should, with the squad they have, the manager they've got. They should definitely be making and aiming for Champions League positions.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head there. But credit to Clermont-Foot, they performed really well. And sometimes the team is just not good enough. You can't step up to the caliber of some teams, and that's just how the story goes. But let's move on to one of our favorite segments, Jonathan.
Yep.
So Around the Grounds is where we bring to you our pick that is outside of Europe's top 5 domestic leagues. And I will throw to first. My Around the Grounds is this week's Champions League fixture between Manchester United and Villarreal. It is the Europa League rematch final. And we all know how that went to. I think it was 20-odd penalty shots taken in order to get there. So essentially, I think that's probably one match. There's a grudge between Manchester United. They want to get that back on them. And, well, Villarreal, they came off a 0-0 draw with Real Madrid. So I think they're going into this fixture full of hope.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely going to be a good one to catch. And my one is actually going to be Chelsea versus Juventus. And this is when we saw the draw, when you did the draw live, this was one I was highly anticipating. Unfortunately, I wish CR7 was still at Juventus to give this one a bit more fire. But with the loss on the weekend to Manchester City, you know that Chelsea's going to be wanting to fight back as much as they can. So yeah,
definitely. And you'd really think Juventus have had their first 2 wins of the season back to back. They've got momentum. We've been talking about it. What's next, Jonathan?
The next one is our
ones to watch, where we pick one game each. It's meant to be one game each because it's one to watch, but sometimes the content's just too good. So I will give two quick honourable mentions too. We've got Liverpool Man City. That's always going to be one game you really want to watch. And Torino versus Juventus for all the Serie A fans. You know how much this game means to both clubs. But my one to watch this week is Lille, who take on Marseille in the Ligue 1. We've discussed Lille to extent this week, and we've discussed Marseille previously. Marseille not in such good form. Lille are in form, but what a game this will be. You just know both teams are going to come to the park and hope to get the scores. Jonathan, what is your one to watch?
So thanks for taking my one, Bruno. I really appreciate that. But the other one I had up my sleeve just in case was Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Let's hope that this one plays out to what it should be. And I'm really looking forward to that one. Will Suarez get the goals back against? Yeah, will he get Suarez get the goals against his old team?
Griezmann
finally. I was going to say, will Griezmann finally get another goal on the board against his former team now as well?
Oh, it's the return home for a lot of these players, isn't it?
It really is, and Jesus, it's been entertaining and all of that. But before we wrap up, guys, there's been a lot that we've covered today. Just a couple of housekeeping and all that we want to get in before we leave. Don't forget, we're running our giveaway of giving away these beautiful hats. I'll be doing another one soon. So, guys, as you can check on our Facebook, Instagram, and as commented on our last Team of the Week, go to our episode 1 of Team of the Week, comment done, and make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel. And yeah, we'll be sending you one of these hats.
You're in the running. That's I think that's easier.
That's it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, look, guys, if you want some entertainment, and I think Uncle Shama hit the nail on the head when he mentioned this, go back to our first episode of Team of the Week when Jonathan's announcing this competition. Uncle Shama said something along the lines of, it's like the rules of financial fair play have been stripped because he's gone crazy handing out hats. I'd like to maybe call him Jonathan Winfrey, because he was like Oprah. You get a hat, you get a hat, you get a hat. So, guys, look, we love him. I don't just wear this hat for this show. I wear this hat everywhere I go. It is comfortable. They are stylish. The snapbacks, mate, they feel good. But, yeah, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel. Comment done. The reason we're saying the Team of the Week episode is because it's probably the most entertaining thing we have done. So, guys, catch that show. Catch Everything EPO, Hurstbone Mo weekly. Catch Serie A Roundtable with Anthony, who has a great round of guests every week. You can catch Jonathan and myself weekly on European Weekly Catch Up. We do have the Champions League show coming this week as well. It's on all Champions League match days. We have Team of the Week, which is a weekly segment we're introducing during domestic fixtures. And we also have the conversation starter with Tim and Owen. They drop episodes when they're ready. So, guys, we have so much content to bring to you. Let us know what you like. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but let us know what you want to see from us here at Football Worldwide. Are we doing something you don't like? Should we be doing something better? Is there something else you want us to do? Let us know, because your feedback can only help us. And by helping us grow, we can get the best content to you guys. So, Jonathan, I'll hand it to you for the final farewell.
Guys, thanks again, Bruno, for another brilliant episode. Mate, we covered a lot today. I think I need a drink after that one, to be perfectly honest, but that's okay. Be sure to check out, like Bruno said, we've got the Champions League show coming up after the match day on when that match day finishes. We'll be within probably 12 to 18 hours straight after the match day fixtures. So we'll be sure you'll hopefully have myself, Bruno, and maybe a special guest. Yes, let's not commit that person just in case. But in saying that, guys, then we'll also have our round 2 of Team of the Week, which don't worry, there's going to be a lot more fireworks this one. It's not going to be as tame as last week, that's for sure. I've undone the shackles this week. So, guys, thanks again. We love you. Help us like and subscribe to the channel. Like our videos. We're pumping out so much content now. I think we've got about 6 or 7 programs now, which we just love doing, to be perfectly honest. But we just want to keep doing it for you guys because we love talking about football and we love the support you are giving us. So in saying that, thank you again from myself. I love you guys, and we'll catch you again soon. Bruno?
Ciao.